Hey everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Today, going to be talking about affair myths, and this is a very touchy subject. Let's be honest to a lot of people out there, okay? Welcome Instagram Live as well. And you can catch a live version of the show right now on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram under Love Guru Greg. Excuse me. And before I get into it, it's a heavy topic that a lot of people, it hits people's hearts emotional. So I might piss people off and, upset people, but I'm here to educate, try to teach people about, the realities of cheating and affairs. Not that I ever condone them, so don't take me out of context. Please, I never condone or justify them. But we have to look at the realities, and don't go anywhere. I'll be back right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Art of Relationship show, and I am live on YouTube, live on Facebook, so I appreciate everybody tuning in, and on Instagram now too, so I'm saying hi to everybody else out there as well. Now, talking about affairs, and this is one thing, affairs, cheating, that cuts across a lot of people's lives, okay? Typically, in relationships or marriages, 30% of relationships or marriages have endured an affair. 30%, okay? And those numbers might be skewed. It could be a little higher as well. And there's getting into myths, that there, past research, there was a lot of bias, a lot of myths out there that, stated that men had a 20 to 30% differential over women with cheating, meaning that 30% more men cheat than women. That's not true any longer, right? The facts are there's like a 5% differential, 5 to 7% differential now about women cheating versus men. So there's a lot of affairs out there that happen and cheating that happens, and there's a lot of myths that go on outside of that. A lot of people say, well, if that person, really loved you, they would never cheat. They would not have had sex with somebody else. They would not have, cheated on you or even thought about cheating on you. And that is not true as well. A lot of people that do cheat or have an affair, they actually love or still like their current partner. There's maybe a lot of myths out there that, they try to substantiate, and I do say myths and substantiate, they don't go together, right? They don't jive. As always, people, you can join the live chat down below, talking about affairs, myths, and the realities of cheating, those type of elements, and it's a touchy subject, I know, for a lot of people, but I want to throw out the truths out there. So, the fact is that 30% of marriages, 30% of relationships usually endure a cheating episode, okay? And we can look at cheating. I tell couples in my office, and this is the primary issue I deal with in my office, okay? And I have for over 20 years as a licensed professional counselor and a relationship and sex specialist. That comes out that a lot of people say once a cheater, always a cheater. That's a myth. Okay, that is not a reality, and there's people that are in the professional field that have told their people this, and they should not be in the field. They should not be working with couples. They should not be working with individuals, period, when it comes to this situation. That's very biased, that's very unethical, and it's untrue. Yes, there are people out there that are habitual cheaters, but that's not everybody, and that is the fewest, low percentage of people that are habitual cheater. They're out there. And if you want to be with somebody in that situation, you need to be able to look at that and, what can I do to live with that and be okay with that? I'm not saying that's for everybody. No, not at all. Again, this is your life, nobody else's, okay? What other myths out there? We talked about, a lot more men cheat than women. That's not true anymore. We talked about, men and women both who have an affair or cheat, that, that they don't love their partner, that they're not that happy in a relationship or their marriage. And that for a lot of people is not true as well. I believe the stats are 56% of men who do have an affair or do cheat actually state, 56%, over half that have cheated, state that they are, somewhat happy in their marriage, their relationship or marriage is fulfilling to them, where 35% of women who have cheated state that their relationship or marriage is not that fulfilling or satisfying to them. They're not happy. So that differential is a huge, disparity between the genders. And research, remember, it always evolves. It always grows. Everybody talks about medicine and science and the practice of medicine. You have to remember, as research, as we evolve as people, as individuals, as couples, as, human race, things are going to change. Stats are going to change. New research is going to come out. And you have to make sure when it comes to cheating, when it comes to affairs, there's a lot of organizations, a lot of groups out there that are very biased. They are, maybe woman haters. They are men haters. They're religious groups that inflate numbers and don't look at the realities of what is going on with cheating and affairs, okay? So we have to look at, the big thing is that, men cheat for sex, women cheat for emotional aspects. That's a myth too. Both genders, any gender, right? They can cheat for a wide variety of reasons, okay? They can look at the situation where some cheat because of sexual fulfillment, both men and women, that the sex at home is not fulfilling to them. Also, men and women can also cheat or do cheat for emotional connection as well. Sex might be okay at home, but they feel left out emotionally. They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel loved. They don't feel, maybe desired or craved. So there's a lot of myths out there that, state, men just cheat for sex and women cheat for emotions. There's a lot of women out there that cheat just for the sexual passion and pleasure of the sexual experience and the excitement as well. It's not just men. So you have to get to the reality of what is going on. And like I said, this is about showing the myths of cheating and affairs and also showing the realities of what is going on. Again, I want to say hi to everybody out there. Please join in the chat down below. Hey, people on Instagram. I'm trying to, balance everything. So I might not do that great of a job, but I want to definitely reach out to everybody listening. And thank you so much again. Join, the chat. Throw your comments, throw your questions out as well as we talk about cheating and affairs and about, the myths and the realities about it. Okay. And how many people, there's a huge myth out there that cheating or an affair totally destroys a relationship or marriage. That is a myth, okay? Statistics, believe it or not, 20%, everybody thinks it's a lot higher, 20% of relationships or marriages that have endured an affair or cheating, only 20% have ended. 20%. Everybody would think it'd be 80%, 90%, 75% that have ended because of cheating. Only 20%, okay? So the reality is, for a lot of people that have endured an affair or cheating, it's horrific, okay? It is very devastating to a relationship, but it doesn't have to end. So that is a huge myth. In fact, there's two things that usually happen that I come across with couples. And like I said, this is my main focus in my office that I work with on a daily basis, is one or both partners have cheated in a relationship or marriages, and I'm here to try to heal it or help the couple heal it and heal from that and to build back trust and to get the relationship even better post an affair when an affair is found out, okay? So, the aspect is the myths, again, going back to, because an affair popped up. It, came about. It happened. It was found out 20% of marriages or a relationship end because of it. So that means 80%, if my math is right, 80% of people stay in that relationship or marriage post an affair. That is a huge amount of, huge percentage that remain in that relationship. So stating that an affair ends a relationship, it can. Don't get me wrong. I want to be honest and be real with people out there that stay in it. My main facet, okay, I want people to be happy. I want people to be fulfilled in their relationship or marriage, okay? So there's two things that happen that I see when somebody cheats, okay? This is the reality, that they want to end the relationship or marriage and get the hell out, or it is a sign that the relationship hit rock bottom, and it's a sign to wake up the relationship or marriage, okay? I don't ever advise, and I want to make sure I'm not taken out of context again. Oh, Greg said, you know what, have an affair, it'll wake up your marriage or relationship. Oh, hell no. There's a lot more healthier ways and beneficial ways to wake up a relationship or marriage than someone to go out and cheat or, have an affair with somebody to wake up the relationship. No. So those are two things I see that, that's a myth. People, they might cheat because they want out of that relationship. They don't love that person. They hate their current partner or situation. That's a myth, okay? There are situations where people will cheat for those reasons, okay? Because they're not getting something out of a relationship. But not everybody who cheats is in that situation, okay? And what do you think the myths are as far as cheating? We talked about why men cheat, why women cheat, whatever. Most people that cheat out of revenge or out of anger, guess who they are, people? Are they men? No, they're not. Most of the women who cheat, it's typically out of anger or out of revenge, right? A woman scorn. Everybody's heard that aspect, right? So a lot of people, even in my office, I hear people, oh, I cheated because he cheated, Greg, or he pissed me off. He made me mad. I felt disrespected. So to get back, I cheated. And there's a lack of remorse and a lack of compassion. And these are things I talk about with cheating or affair, the foundations to go after and to be able to look at, to heal and to be able to move forward and heal from an affair and even get a relationship or marriage a lot closer than it's ever been. That's what I try to go after, okay? It's not always possible, depending on each individual in the couple dynamic in the relationship. Like I said, there's two facets I run into. People that cheat that want to end the relationship or marriage, or people that are just feeling dead in the relationship or not, and it wakes it up. And it's not that it's intentional. It's just one of those things that sort of happen, okay? So we have to look at those aspects, okay? And what are the truths of why people cheat, right? Low or declining satisfaction in the relationship. There's also a huge discrepancy in sexual attitudes and a sex life in a relationship. One, wants more sex, more connection in the relationship, and the other one doesn't. I tell people one person might want sex 5 times a week. The other one wants it once every 5 or 6 months. I use this analogy because it happens a lot. And everybody assumes men want more sex in a relationship than women. I'm going to tell you, over my experience, the last 14 or 15 years working with couples in my office, that's not true. More women are complaining that they're not getting enough sex from their man. So let's face it, and this goes for any gender, right? When that happens, you don't feel loved, you don't feel desired, you feel unattractive to your partner, that you can't turn your partner on, and then maybe, it doesn't give you a right, not at all, but then to step outside the relationship, because sex can be very confident building, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel craved. It makes you feel cared about and loved in most cases, especially, let's face it, when someone's sexually attracted to you, it feels good no matter if you're attracted to that person or not. You might say, ew, or whatever, if you're not attracted to that person, but most people are flattered by that. So when your own person in a relationship is not feeling loved or not feeling, that they're desired, you know what? Those are great risk at somebody cheating in a relationship. When somebody is not being heard or not being appreciated, you feel like, you know, there's no questions asking, how was your day? Oh, you look like you had a rough day. What's going on? Talk to me. Where one person, they don't say anything. They don't even ask. So you're not a priority. You're not feeling good. And some people cheat. Let's face it. These are situations that go on, okay? What other myths have you come up with affairs in that situation that come up, okay? Another myth, and this is a sad one, that, you know, the fear of AIDS and HIV, that has decreased affairs from happening. That's a myth as well. So it's a very scary situation that goes out, and you look at, you know, what happens with infidelity. And I tell people there's a lot of depth with the P out there that underlines, and you have to underline what caused an affair. Is there genuine remorse and guilt, and what is happening to make sure maybe it doesn't happen again, unless both people decide that, you know what, that sex outside the marriage is allowed. You know what, it's consensual, that couples are okay to have sex outside the relationship or marriage. That's not for everybody, right? There's a huge myth that, you know, a lot of research coming out that humans are monogamous. That's a huge myth. You know, we could have habitual monogamy, right? When you go, you're monogamous in this relationship, that ends. You're monogamous in that relationship. When it ends, you're monogamous when that relationship ends. That's what I talk about, habitual monogamy, right? So how many people have had more than one sex partner out there in the world, right? Not only in the U.S., but out there in the world. It's very, very rare. It still exists, don't get me wrong, but the percentages are so low when that situation. So when you look at an affair, what's going on, ultimately, if you are thinking about cheating or whatever, are you able to talk to your partner, right? Are you able to talk about and disclose to your partner, oh, I'm sorry, someone just mentioned on Instagram, my girlfriend cheated on me, you know, what can I do? And that's a great question. The first thing, and I talked about this, you know, before I get back into more myths, is about looking at what caused it, right? You know, what was the reason for cheating, right? And sometimes there is no reason, and that's harder to heal and to come from, okay? So was, you know, the person that cheated, were they unhappy in the relationship? That's not always true. You know, was it because of only sex? Was it because of an emotional connection lacking in the relationship? You know, what is going on? Or is that one person that is not monogamous, right? And they try to be, but they just can't. And those need to be talked about. They need to be, you know, definitely transparent in what's going on in the relationship. So what caused that affair or that cheating incident to happen? Then we have to look at, does that person who did cheat, are they remorseful? Some people are not. Some people are justifying it and they condone it. I cheated because of this and I'm not ashamed of it at all. If that person does not show compassion or empathy, even though they feel like they had a right to, and I'm not saying anyone has a right to cheat. No, not at all. But this is where you have to look at the situation of, you know, is there remorse? Is there empathy for the person that you hurt in that situation when you cheated? Do you care about the pain you caused that person? And then there has to be, you know, an understanding or a commitment that you're not going to cheat again. But let's face it, I don't want anyone to have a commitment to stay in a relationship or marriage and be miserable, right? And that's a huge, you know, myth too that comes out, that people expect that, say we didn't have sex in a relationship and, you know, sex isn't a big deal to me, or maybe it was at the beginning. Now it isn't important to me anymore. I could care less about having sex. And there's no medical reason for it. There's no biological aspect of it because of hormones or a medical condition, okay? I just could care less about sex anymore. And the other one feels like, you lied to me, you were fraudulent. And then, you know, that person that doesn't want sex anymore in the relationship also doesn't want that person to go out and have sex outside the relationship or marriage. And you're like, what? Huh? So you look at, that's a control and manipulation factor in that situation. So you don't want to have sex in a relationship, but you don't want your partner to go outside and have sex without the relationship, and you don't want your partner to divorce you or to break off the relationship. So that's very manipulative. So there's a lot of dynamics and a lot of myths out there, like we're talking about with affairs in those situations, and you're holding somebody hostage. You don't want to have sex with them, but you're also controlling them that they can't have sex with anybody else, but yet you want them to stay in a relationship or stay in that marriage. That is very selfish, right? And that's where I usually advise somebody in that situation, right? You can decide to stay in that relationship and be miserable, or perhaps you need to get out of that relationship or marriage to be more in a healthy, happier place in your life in that situation, okay? Another myth out there is that you're talking about that affairs or cheating should always be disclosed in a relationship, okay? This is not always true. This is a myth. And this is one thing that I know people are going to be pissed off by me stating this. But say somebody made a mistake, okay? They're not a habitual cheater. They made a mistake, say 5 years ago, okay? A woman cheated, a man cheated, stepped out of the relationship, okay? So you look at 5 years later, you learn the relationship, marriage is good, is great. And then 5 years later, you're going to disclose that cheating or affair. My question is, what is the purpose behind that? Now, I'm all about transparency and being honest. Absolutely. No lying, whatever. But it comes to a point where what purpose does revealing that cheating incident now, after 5 years, after 10 years has gone by, what purpose is it to hurt that person, right? Is it to demoralize your current partner because you decided to stay in that relationship? My question is, why would you do that, okay? And if you feel, I get people all the time that I couldn't handle the guilt anymore. I couldn't handle, that's your punishment for cheating. You need to talk about that and look at and underline what caused you to cheat and to learn about that. And if it is a relationship aspect, you need to be able to go after it to realize what caused that. That's your punishment, okay? And not to cause more pain and, destroy your person that you're with after 5 years later, 7 years later, 10 years later. That's sort of your selfishness if you can't deal with that. So there's a lot of situations where you talk about, should in a cheating situation always be disclosed? I say no. It depends on the situation. It depends on the what is going on in a person's life and the status in a relationship or marriage, that it can do a lot more harm, especially if it happened a long time ago, okay? So that is a huge myth that a lot of people look at. There's a lot of myths about healing from an affair, that everything about the cheating incident, if it was a long-term affair or a one-night sexual episode, okay, that, everything about that situation has to be disclosed for healing to set in. No, it does not. Again, I'm all about purpose, right? What is the purpose that you want to know? What sex positions, where they had sex, what type of sex they had, where did they meet? I'm all about, trying to help heal that. That doesn't mean you don't show remorse. That doesn't mean you don't show guilt for what you've done. Not at all. But there's a situation about purpose. What questions are asked and what purpose do they serve? Is it to create more difficulty and to delay healing and to create more pain in the relationship and with that person that you cheated on? No, not at all. So I'm all about purpose of questions, and I want to know. For instance, I've had clients that they want to see a picture of that person to of what they, who they cheated with, the man, the woman, whatever. They want to see a picture of that man, picture of that woman. And a lot of people, and sometimes it happens where a lot of people will look at, you know what? Oh yeah, they must see if they're more attracted than me. They have a better body than me. They're more handsome. All this stuff. That is true for sometimes, but there's also people out there that want to see a picture so they're not surprised if they're in a store somewhere and that person comes up to them, or they see this person out in public. They don't want to be surprised. So again, we have to look at the purpose of what is going on to be able to look at the healing aspects as well, okay? And if you look at another myth about affairs and cheating, this is a truth. They destroy a lot of people, right? They're humiliating, they're embarrassing. Their whole, anticipation of growing old together and trust gets shattered. That needs to be repaired, okay? And you look at how many affairs and cheating as well are very overemphasized in Western civilization, right? You look at music, right? You look at movies, you look at TV shows about how much cheating and everything goes on. And there's a huge myth out there and yet they promote, monogamy. So you look at what is going on, that a lot of societal aspects and TV and, the media, they glamorize the cheating, the affair aspects. Remember, another thing, that only 1 out of 20 people, when they cheat with somebody, only 1 out of 20 of those couples end up being together. Only 1 out of 20. That's a low percentage, people. So a lot of people look at myths that, they cheat and they end up together forever and ever and ever. Only 1 out of 20 people that cheat with one another end up remaining. So if you cheated with, somebody else, chances are only 1 in 20 are going to end up being together. Hey, Robert on Instagram, appreciate you tuning in. So you have to look at the myths. The facts are they do demoralize a relationship. They do create a lot of significant pain, horrific pain and devastation. And the betrayer needs to connect with that pain. And that doesn't mean you get, bashed for the rest of your life for that. But the healing needs to set in with the remorse, with the guilt of those aspects, okay? So you need to be able to look at that. Facts are that, that doesn't mean that you don't love your current person or partner. There's a lot of people, well, if she really loved you, she wouldn't have cheated. If she if he really loved you, you know what? That might be true, but that is not true in the majority of the cases, right? There are signs, of course, that cheating, that there are problems in a relationship or marriage, right? Most people realize that, but there's also the myth out there that says, that the marriage or relationship is horrific. That's why somebody cheated. That's not always true. That's a huge myth too. So you need to look at, and are you able to look at even your role in why would my partner want to cheat on me? Are you able to look at that? That doesn't condone or justify a person cheating, not at all. There's that goes with another fact out there about cheating, right? There's no reason or no excuse for somebody to cheat or have an affair, right? Everybody tries to justify or condone it. No, but trying to find out what caused it, what was going on, that's huge. That's important. That does not justify somebody cheating or condoning somebody cheating, okay? We have to look at what is repairing. So are you able to look at, what did I do to cause my partner to cheat on me? What was I not sexual? And this doesn't mean you have to be, okay? Was I not attentive? Was I not, making my partner feel, like I said, loved, desired, respected, appreciated, important, a priority? And we're not talking 24/7, not at all. But we're talking, more times than not. I want people to learn their role in that. And a lot of people will play the victim role and start just bashing their partner and ripping them apart, demoralizing them to play the victim role. And remember I said about the myth aspect, right? As far as people cheat, that they're always a cheater, once a cheater, always a cheater. That's not true. That they're a horrific person, they're a bad person if they cheated. That's not always true, not at all. That they just made a mistake, right? But a lot of people want to play the victim role, like, I did nothing wrong in the relationship or in the marriage, but yet my partner cheated. Really? That is the case for maybe 3 to 5% of the people that got cheated on. That's a very low percentage, okay? So you have to look at your role in that. That doesn't excuse or condone the cheating in the relationship, but we have to look at and uncover what caused it. But a lot of people will not look at themselves. They won't look themselves in the mirror to say, what was my role in that? And that needs to be uncovered as well, okay? So before I let you go, what are some other facts about cheating that come out in a relationship, right? And again, cheating can wake up the relationship or it can end the relationship. 20% of people, 20% of relationships or marriages end because of a cheating or infidelity, okay? That's a low percentage. So my job is, if it does happen, I never promote cheating, not at all, is to try to repair it and try to make the relationship a lot stronger than what it is. In a lot of situations, not always, high percentage of situations with couples that I've seen, that the cheating or the affair was like the relationship hitting rock bottom and it wakes it up. Now what can we do to heal it? And we got to heal the hurt, the pain, the devastation. It's horrifying, okay? For a lot of people, the trust, the anxiety it creates within the person that was hurt. But now we have to look at, okay, what do we do after we connect with that pain? What can we do to heal that situation, okay? So the effects of cheating or infidelity, they can be negative, they can be positive, they can have a neutral effect of the situation. So you need to be able to look at what is going on and, to heal the relationship. So again, look at the myths of a relationship. That doesn't mean a person hates you or is a horrific person. They might have made a mistake, okay? So we have to uncover what is going on in that situation, okay? So hopefully this information can help you. I know I was all over the place. Again, check me out. theartofrelationships.org is my website. You can check out the show episodes. The recorded versions are all over the place on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram now under Love Guru Greg. The audio version is on every listening platform. Just do a search under the Art of Relationships show. Okay. Peace and love to everybody out there. Everybody take care. Have a great Wednesday. And any questions you have, email me, hit me up, message me on topics you'd like me to cover or questions you have. Okay. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Peace and then love to everybody out there.